no better time than the beginning of the year to kick off your goals. If you have a goal of moving this year, if it's even an idea in your head, meet up with your agent.
As soon as you listen to this, call your realtor.
There is no such thing as too soon, but there is such thing as too late.
The way you plan on something happening and the way it actually does happen are two entirely different things.
Yeah, the no BS real estate solutions for you millennials.
Getting you from where you are
to where you want to be.
There we go.
Yeah.
There it is. There
It's
it
not
is.
a cliche, but it's kind of a
cliche.
It's about to be.
It's about to
It's
be.
our tagline. Millennia. Happy New Year. Welcome back to our first episode.
We got to really perfect these starts to these things. We're still getting the hang of this.
First episode of 2020. I think I said 2023 before too. First episode of 2024. Kicking off the year. Had to come in glitter because going into the new year nice and shiny and sparkly.
There you go.
And a little dark.
I'm wearing a flannel like I always do this time of year. I usually will switch to polo shirts once the weather gets to where it needs to be. But for now,
Watch out. Ring it up.
that's right. I literally just like wear these pants, all not the same pair of pants, but this is my color. I just wear khakis. That's it. Yeah.
Khakis.
Someone asked me the other day, do you own a pair of jeans? And I'm like, I don't think since I was 10, since I've worn a pair of jeans. Oh, I'm not a jeans guy.
So weird. Okay, so we were going to talk about your New Year's goals for 2024, but now I'm going to talk about the new goal that I just made for myself. It's to get Seth into a pair of jeans by the end of 2024.
We'll see. We'll see what happens with
and
that.
it'll be on the podcast.
There we go.
And then those who know, you know, and then we'll know that you've been a day oneer.
So we were talking about New Year's resolutions for real estate consumers. Meaning like people, like what do people want to do in real estate?
For millennials, like we always do.
For millennials.
And you Gen Xers too, I guess.
And you Gen, yeah, you're okay. You're Gen.
If you're a boomer and watching this, I would love for you to tell everybody else in your generation how to do that.
That's right. So we're going to talk a little bit about New Year's resolutions for what people want to accomplish in real estate. And I think this is a great topic. I love this time of year. It's a great time to reset. Great time. And oh, by the way, cliche alert. We're probably going to drop some cliches here, or at least Jen will, and then I'll make fun of her for it. This is a great year for a new start.
How many cliches that I actually threw out there until you keep pointing them out.
Well, you know, yeah.
I'm going to say I'm just a hopeful gal.
At the end of the day, guys, this is going to be about you. I want to talk about, what you guys want to accomplish. If you're renting, living in a house that's too small.
We're talking about the New Year's resolution of you want to move from where you are to somewhere else.
That's
and it could be that you're renting and you want to buy your first house, or it could be that you own a house, but you need to get out of there. It's driving you nuts. You're stepping over each other. You need more space. Something about it you're outgrowing. Or maybe your goal is that, you're having more kids and you foresee that happening and you would like to get that ball rolling.
So getting you from where you are to where you want to be. There we go.
There it is.
It's
not a cliche, but it's kind of a cliche. It's about to be.
It's about to
It's our tagline. Millennia.
This is a conversation I have with people at this time of year, at least my smart clients, because they know that it takes a little bit of time.
What a generational difference, because you work with a good amount of Gen Xers, probably more than I do. I work with a lot more millennials, and I don't have this conversation enough at this time of year because people are waiting until
And that is exactly why we're putting this out into the ether, because it is too important and you cannot be too prepared.
It's funny that you just said that. This is no better time than the beginning of the year to kick off your goals, because I was doing some kind of like research and I was very curious of what the statistic is of New Year's resolutions. I was looking up success rate. I was trying to be positive over here, but then the first 8 million things that came up was the failure rate for New Year's resolutions is 91%. I was expecting it to be people who bail out at the gym, which is probably the most, well-known kind of go-to New Year's resolution of people giving up, but it was a lot, and it was all encompassing. I was like, oh, what a statistic.
They do talk about that, where there's this huge boon of gym memberships in January and February, and then March, the cancellations just start. And then it all goes back.
The cancellations do, but people just die off one by one.
Yeah.
But or tens by hundreds.
No, but they use that because that is the most common New Year's resolution is people's health or weight. That's the big one, and they actually are able to track it through gym memberships. And the big chains like Planet Fitness and Bally's and all that, they have actual data.
You just said Bally was a big one.
Isn't it Bally's?
I don't think they've been around since the 2010s, maybe. Like when I auditioned,
2010s, maybe that was like 3 years ago, and I haven't been. I
the
don't
early
have
2010s, like
I'm
late
sorry.
early 2000s.
Okay, well,
Like put it this way, when I was auditioning for the Eagles cheerleaders, like the first time, like it was like Bally's trainers, and then after that, it died off.
So Planet Fitness or
Or
how
like
about
LA
LA
Fitness.
Okay,
There you go.
okay.
Those
Just
are the juggernauts.
Calm down. All right, I'm trying to make a point.
Times, boomer.
So no, but they actually have data in the big franchises to show that there is a drop off, and we're going to talk about why people set them and why they failed them.
Yeah, I mean, and leave it to me. I was very curious as to why. I was like, I went down a rabbit hole. This was me sitting on my computer and was like, oh my God, that is such a high. I figured it to be high, but not 91% high. And that 9% of people actually see their New Year's resolution goal through. Statistically, the reasons why are they think that their goal is too big. People are not asking themselves why enough. So not getting down to the root of, why do I even want to do this? Easy to give up after that. And then the third one is change. That some people may not be ready to change. So that's actually kind of of the three. They're all very controllable.
And I would say 2 and 3 are very much linked because they're both linked to the why.
Yeah.
Because you'll change if you got it.
But if you don't address the why, then you're like definitely not even going to make it to the third point.
It's like, I want to eat better because I want to feel better is different than I want to eat better because my doctor says that like my heart is clogged and I need to I'm not going to live another year. I mean, there's like totally different whys. Motivation is only one part of it. And that's only the Kickstarter, but you really do need that underlying thing to get you to take action.
Yeah. And so then to just kind of like go more into like how to actually see your goal through and be that 9% or maybe just change the statistic. I think it was a really interesting point to say that people think that the goal is like too big and then it becomes unattainable. And then it's like, I'm never going to get there anyway. So it's like some people, they say like, I want to sell my house and move. And then once they start kind of like doing their own little research, what was that? My words, they stopped. So I got to get out of this house. I am so overstepping over my children and everything, and we need more space. Our goal is we need to move out of this house and into a new one by the end of the year. You start realizing, how the hell do I even make this happen? It seems overwhelming, analysis paralysis, then you do nothing, and then you don't end up moving, and then you're living your life of misery and destitution.
We sincerely hope you're not living a life of misery, but we do understand that sometimes it can feel that way at times.
I think this quote is really awesome. The pain of not changing has to be greater than the pain of changing for us to really change. And I was like, yep. So once you're in enough pain to say like, no, this is time, that's when you're actually going to end up making that move. But then, so cool. Now you're in the mindset of like, I'm ready to do this. Then you realize this is a lot. So what do? You just talk to your agent. If you have a goal of moving this year, regardless of when, it could be December 2024. If it's even an idea in your head, meet up with your agent. You have a conversation, you sit down, because we are here to help you come up with the measurable timelines.
It's like hiring a trainer at the beginning of the year. If you've got a weight loss goal or you want to work out, it's that accountability, it's that structure, it's the advice, the guidance.
We can make those timelines with you versus feeling like you have to do it all on your own. This is our job. This is what we do all day, every day.
Yeah.
You have your other job. Like, focus on the other things that you have going on in your life, and then collaborate with us so that we can just work your goals into your life.
Yeah.
And, there is no such thing as too soon, but there is such thing as too late.
Too late, absolutely.
A lot of people just think like, well, I don't plan on.
That could be a cliche too. That's got a wisdom bomb in the middle of it.
I'm gonna have so many Jennifer Anuski wise words.
Anuskiisms.
Ooh, Jennisms? Anuskiisms.
Jennisms?
There aren't many other Anuskis.
That's right.
And you don't have to go into the meeting with your agent saying like, no, I'm not going to do it like right now. Like, don't get defensive. It's like, hey, I'd like to do this year. There is no such thing as too soon, but there is such thing as being too late. Cliche alert. Reach out to your agent right now in January. It's like having the New Year's resolution of losing 80 pounds this year and waiting until like your deadline to meet with a trainer. Like, why would you do that?
Yeah.
You have the goal. You meet with the trainer first and you say, here's my goal. Then you come up with a plan together and to see it through, regardless of how long it will take.
Yep.
They help you break things down into more bite-sized pieces. That is what we're here to do.
What do I always tell you guys? I say a lot of things, but how do you eat the elephant?
one bite at a time.
You eat the elephant one bite at a time. And so there's a
know
great
who's
book
eating
on
elephants,
New Year's
but-
resolutions. It's called The 12-Week Year, and it's by Brian Moran. He basically talks about how New Year's resolutions fail a lot because it's too big and kind of nebulous. People don't understand. It's far away. It's like just too large for the brain to take on. So basically,
we're not wired to do that, like psychologically.
Yeah. So he basically talks about every quarter, you set the small mini goals in order to accomplish it. So maybe the goal for the first quarter is just to contact a realtor and have that conversation.
Yep.
At the very least, that realtor is going to be like, you know what, you're good for now. Hey, you really got to have me over, or like, hey, we really got to like have more conversations, or we get in touch with the lender just to see where we're at. And then, you wait. I've never literally had anybody say, I reached out to my realtor too early.
No,
it just doesn't, it's not a thing. And
I have heard I reached out too late.
Yeah.
And then scrambled, and then, or you find out, or you find out that your finances are not where you thought they were. And we talked about that in an episode before.
Yeah.
But that's such a real thing. And that's why I always tell you, I'm like, I am not going to pressure you to go sooner than you want to. Unless it's for a good reason.
Yep.
Go sooner rather than later. Give yourself the time. And then the other thing too, that is important to have is accountability. Step 1, connect with your agent soon in January, right off the bat.
As soon as you listen to this, call your realtor.
Right now. You're listening to it right now. Get on the phone with us. Let me hear it in the background.
No, what can we talk about? Can we talk about why someone maybe we talked a little bit about the why of the goal. Why would someone want to move? Let's talk about some of the pain points that our people go through. House too small. What else?
I mean, if it's somebody who is currently renting, there's the very obvious to not pay somebody else's mortgage.
Yes.
Okay.
Are
we doing this like back
school
and forth
district?
thing?
Yeah. You know what? Let's do it back and forth.
Okay. Wait, I want that one.
No, I get school district. School district.
Moving closer to your job, which, by the way, was ranked the #1 reason that millennials choose to move where they do.
Moving closer to their job is a Jen wordy. It's really commute.
Fine.
So commute
to work.
Okay, job.
What difference?
How about job? How about job relocation?
That's the same category. You can't
No,
pick
it's
that.
not. It is not anything. Job relo implies out of state or across state, depending on the state you're in. Rhode Island, it's not, but kind of California, yeah.
Make him stop. Your needs change in your home.
That is not a reason.
So we could keep going.
I would say okay. So let's just recap. House is too small. The school district, your job, you're getting divorced, or you need to move closer to family, or your family needs to come move in with you, so you need more space for that. Something along those lines. And a lot of people get this analysis paralysis, or they just think it's too big to do, so they just don't try at all. And that is what we do as realtors, is just kind of guide you through it. Regardless of your pinpoint, reaching out and making sure that things are on track is the best path forward.
Point number 2, accountability. With your step number 1, you'd already met with us, so there's accountability. Put dates on calendars.
Mm-hmm.
You want time frames. Maybe your first chunk of time is make the phone calls and have the appointments. Maybe that's all that is. You have us come over, your realtor come over for your listing appointment, walk your house. There's an eye that you see in your house every day. And then there is the nitpicky eye that a buyer is going to come in with and is going to see every single fault with it that you have adapted to glossing over by living there.
You've gotten used to it.
So you want us to come in and be able to give you the list of what to do to prepare your house to list, if that's what your goal is. The last thing you want to do is rush that. It gets really stressful, especially if you do have kids in your house or other people in your house. And you work out of your house. And
dogs.
You want to be able to plan accordingly. And the only way for us to be able to help you with that is to be able to come in and then sit down with you, put dates on calendars, and give you a less stressful amount of time to knock things off a checklist so that you can move into phase 3. And phase 3 to this point is communicate. The way to actually make this work and to see it through is to communicate everything. So we can have all of these systems in place for you. We can have these checklists. We can have these calendar dates. But if you start getting overwhelmed, or if something changes, or something switches in your mind of like some kind of doubt, whatever it is, if you do not communicate that with us, then we're not going to be able to help you continue to get to the goal. Yep. If you think your goal has changed, again, we go back to the why.
Yeah.
Ask yourself why.
And I also just want to impress upon people that, the way you plan on something happening and the way it actually does happen are two entirely different things. We try to keep it on track, but life isn't that way. So there's no straight line from A to B. So Jen's point about communicating is super important because yes, things change, man. Like we need to know so we can just change the plan.
And the sooner again, the better.
And the sooner the better. But we have the experience to be able to pivot. Like, hey, he's not actually going to be starting that job for another 2 weeks, but like, can we still list then? Or, all we do is solve problems all day. And a good realtor, that's what they're going to do. So,
and the more time you give yourself to think on something, the worse you're going to make it in your own head. And so the sooner you come to us with any of these like concerns or doubts or roadblocks, the sooner we can, again, pivot and make changes to the course of action to get you to where you still want to go and still make it happen. So that is the third point, is just communicate.
Is there a fourth point?
I could make one, but no.
I'm going to make up one.
Okay.
Like allow your realtor to be encouraging too. I know this seems like an overwhelming thing, but there have been so many people who have contacted me over the years and they weren't sure how they were going to do it. And believe it or not, a good realtor, this is kind of just what we do all day, every day. So there's a lot of people out there telling you can't do things. Things are too hard, limiting beliefs. You can't afford it. There's no time. I can't get my house clean. All these limiting beliefs. I think that you should allow your realtor and trust your realtor to give you good advice. And, if they, like I said, if they're good at their job, they're going to know exactly what to do. And no matter what you throw at them.
If you end up stewing on things, you're going to talk yourself out of it. Like, there's no reason for it. Don't tell me like, oh, well, you know what? Maybe we'll just wait until next year. Cause I actually just got off the phone with talking with my client and saying like, yeah, but like, what if we just wait? And I've said this before and I'll say it again. The worst thing you can do is wait for the right time, because that doesn't exist. The right time is right now, because, you can think that, oh, but if I wait till like list my house, maybe it's going to sell for more then. There's always going to be problems. It's just a matter of what they are.
Every market just has a different strategy. And so there's a lot of people who've been sitting and waiting since 2021, being like, oh, I'm going to wait for this to happen, wait for that to happen. And they've lost 2 years of home ownership, which is a great wealth building tool. Taking action is the key. And no matter what your New Year's resolution, you want to read more, you want to lose weight, get closer to your family members or whatever, you have to take action.
No limiting beliefs. Call them BS. The no BS real estate solutions for you millennials.
That's right.
Whoa, for full circle.
Well, we are very much looking forward to a great 2024. If you live in the Philadelphia area, obviously we are here to help, but outside of that area, we are happy to refer people. And if you live all the way across the country or around the world, we have friends everywhere.
Earth is our domain.
Earth is our domain.
Is that a cliche?
No.
Okay.
It's not at all. I'll see you guys.
Bye.